there's Rachel right there. How are you this morning, Rachel?
Hey there. Yeah.
Oh, good. So how's the weather out there today? Literally.
Cold.
Cold?
Little cold.
Kind of cold. Well, okay. You don't look like you're dressed for cold weather. You probably have a big, heavy coat sitting back there somewhere.
I have a big heavy coat, a scarf, some gloves. I'm equipped.
Gloves?
And a space heater for the office.
Oh, okay. Even gloves. Okay. It must be pretty chilly then.
It is a little chilly here.
All right. Okay, so now tell me, what is our legislative update for this morning? And certainly somewhere in there, I understand we have some new things going on between Mexico and the ATF. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that as well.
Sure. Well, right now, all of our state legislatures are just now getting back into session. So we don't have a lot of updates this week. However, we expect a lot of stuff coming up. I know all of our lobbyists have been giving testimony on the floors of their state houses. And that's very good news, because that means there's gun legislation that is being considered in committees. So we're very happy about that. They're ready to go, ready to bring some updates to you guys. But like I said, several of the state legislatures are getting ramped up. They're starting session this week, and if not this week, then next week. And so we're going to start pushing legislation. With that being said, there is always something going on the federal level. We're expecting to hear something soon about the McDonald case. We know that we know that oral arguments will be heard on March 2nd in the Supreme Court. So we're looking forward to that. And just anything else that happens to come up. We are always watching what's going on in the Senate and the House here in Washington, D.C. So we expect to bring lots of updates throughout this month and the rest of the year once people start getting ramped up.
Okay, so it's a little early in the legislative year to really discuss bills in particular. There's a lot of things in the mill, I think, is probably what you're trying to tell us, and there's a lot of things coming up.
That's right. There's a lot of things in the queue, a lot of pre-existing pieces of legislation that will move forward, and a lot of newly introduced bills. So both pro-gun and anti-gun, and I certainly will bring all of those updates to you throughout the rest of the month and the year, just like normal. But right now it is a little bit early. All of the folks are just getting back to work after the holidays.
Obviously the ATF has gone to work.
The ATF is always at work.
I read this little blurb about what the ATF is what they're doing with Mexico, and I'm kind of positive and maybe some negative on it. Explain that to me.
Sure, I think that's how the NRA is as well. Right now, as it has been explained to us from the ATF, now, and I want to highlight that part, as it has been explained to us, what is happening now is that there are both an English version of E-Trace and now a Spanish version of E-Trace that will allow authorities in Mexico and other countries to giving them the ability to submit online requests for traced guns. So what that means is they find a firearm and they want it traced. They'll submit an online request for the ATF here in the United States to perform a trace on that gun, and then information will be supplied back to them in the course of a bona fide investigation. It works the same way as it does in the United States. Now, a lot of people have concerns with the information that's going back to the Mexican government and other countries who have access to this E-Trace website. Now, the information that goes back to these governments is what we're told by the ATF, is no personal information. It's only information regarding that firearm. This is good news. However, it is still concerning to us here at the NRA when we're always trying to protect the privacy of gun owners. And again, when you're using the internet, it just takes the slip of a hand, human error, to release private information to governments who are often corrupt, and who knows where that information can end up. So we are concerned on that front, that private information on gun owners who are law-abiding, who have not done anything to break any kind of laws, that information would be released to not only our government, but the other governments in other countries that have often had news headline after news headline of being corrupt.
Right. Rachel, I think basically we're talking about a privacy issue, and right now, since all of us are very concerned about information that one government gives another. You know, once you kind of open the door to that, then I think me as a gun owner, even you as a gun owner, if something does happen in a foreign country, I can understand where they may want to follow up on that particular weapon. I mean, you're into that slippery slope, if I can use that word, to where gun owners like ourselves go, well, you know, if you give them a little bit of information, do they want a little more? What guarantees do we have? You know, it's a little touchy at this point, don't you think?
It is a little touchy, and that's why we are concerned, and that's why we're keeping a close eye on this type of effort. Again, you know, any effort to attack criminals and, you know, put the efforts toward people who are breaking the law is one thing. But when we talk about electronically sharing information with corrupt governments like the Mexican government, it is something that we like to keep an eye on because we do want to preserve the rights of gun owners. However, we are told by the ATF that no private information is released or shared with foreign governments. So that is somewhat relieving to us. However, again, when you're talking about automated systems and going online and filling out request forms and instead of faxing or mailing, then you do run the risk of human error and private information being leaked out, and we don't want that to happen.
Yeah, again, that's another positive negative. I mean, if it's an online system, then they can only get, excuse me, that information that is put online for them to receive. So there is some safety in that if it's entered correctly and if it's entered as they say it will be entered, you can't very much go on beyond that. So I guess there is some safety issue in there. But again, you know, back to that slippery slope, as they say. You know, in another way, let's just turn this around a little bit. In a foreign country such as Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, whatever, if there is a gun there that they might want to trace to where it came from, it's hard for me to believe. You know, it's hard for me to believe, Rachel, that they're not already able to get that information if they really, really want it. So for the ATF to start getting involved in it, and, well, you know, we'll have to see how that goes, and I know that you'll keep us abreast of exactly what's going to take place there.
Absolutely, always on this issue and any other that you guys find to be interesting. Happy to perform updates anytime. You know, yeah, it is concerning, and you want to make sure that the information that is shared, especially information about private citizens here in the United States with other countries, is banned, is not happening. So we'll keep an eye on this.
Right. Yeah, it's like anything else. Once, you know, with all the ID problems that we're having, I mean, everybody is so sensitive on this subject that, and who do you believe, okay? I don't want to say it that way, but who are you going to believe? And it's very difficult. You know, Rachel, I know we're going to stay. I know somewhere there's going to be a mistake. I know it. You do too. There's going to be a mistake made, and we're going to hear about it from you and the NRA, I am sure.
Absolutely. We always keep our fingers on the pulse of these kinds of things.
And thank you very much for doing so. NRA members have a good reason to be proud of all the work that you do, Rachel. Hey, I'll see you again next week.
Thank you. See ya.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.